Hey guys, it's 7 and today I want to do a video on Hawkeye, and the future of Marvel Avengers. So, number one thing that I thought of when I heard that we're gonna get a war table on February 16th, I was like, all right, well, the good thing is we're finally getting some information, and so I was like, all right, well, I hopefully we'll see that we're getting the Kate Bishop stuff that we were owed a while back. Remember, when they released the Kate Bishop DLC, they hadn't dropped the other half of her stuff yet. So I'm hoping to get her other half of her stuff in the Avengers Initiative, as well as Clint Barton stuff. But starting off though, so what happens if Marvel Avengers Hawkeye fails, right? What do I mean by that? It could do well in a sense of the story is fine. I understand it. It could do well with that. But the thing is it more of the same, or is it a lot better? Now I don't know if Loot 2.0 is going to be in that, but let's assume right, they have it where it's like think of it like a Forsaken DLC for like Destiny. It's like it's got to be like so grand, right, that it's like it'll cause people that just drop the game entirely, never going to come back. Hawkeye has to do that, and I realize, don't get me wrong, I realize Hawkeye is not the character for that to happen, but here's the thing, right? They already kind of just ruined their chances with any other character when they decided to bring out Clint Barton right after Kate Bishop, right? So we already know what's happening. They can't take it back. They can't do anything now. They can't even bring a Wakanda raid yet, because if they don't make Clint Barton worth coming back for, it's a high chance no one's going to come back for Black Panther. Now I talked to a guy yesterday and he was like, well, yeah, why wouldn't they come back for Black Panther? I was like, would you really trust them with Black Panther or anything, right? If they couldn't do a good job on Clint Barton, arguably a character that not many people know about, it's their own story. I get that. I understand all of that. I'm not denying any of that. But what I'm getting at is that if they can't do good on a character that he's not really like a third-rate hero, but he's like one of those heroes where he's on Black Widow's level. I'll put it like that. I would say, if anything, when it comes to popularity, he's on Black Widow's level. And so the main thing is going to be, can they sell Hawkeye, Clint Barton? Can they sell him well enough that it will cause a lot of the community that's still here and the community that's still wanting to play the game but waiting for something new to come out? Can they still get them to come back to the game? So that's the number one thing we got to worry about. But if it fails, I do not believe. I'll put it like this: they already screwed the pooch when they decided to talk to Kotaku instead of all of their communication sources for the game originally. I know you guys remember that. But then, right, they decided for 4 months straight they weren't going to say anything about what's coming out, what are they working on. They decided not to do that at all. So they've already done it. They've already hurt themselves twice. Now let Clint Barton be a flop, bro. This game is going to die so fast. And to be completely honest, and I talked about this to another guy before, I said, bro, Crystal Dynamics won't be able to sell another Tomb Raider game. Like let's just be honest. Like CD Projekt Red, they did the thing with PlayStation 4. You can say what you want about the bugs, but the game is still playable. It's still got a lot of good things about it. They took out some stuff, sure, but that's expected with a game that releases. So it's like, when it comes to just the game itself, looking past the bugs, what is the game really about? They've got a lot of stuff there. I would say that you wouldn't run out of content to do, and it's the content treadmill or content loop is has good enough distractions that it won't how do I want to put that it won't bore you. But so now that we talked about what if it fails, what if it succeeds? Now, number one thing that I do hope to have with this game is I want to have what I had back in Marvel Heroes Omega. I want to have a bunch of characters that I can play, that I can make builds on, that I can evolve them over time on. I want to do that. I really do believe this game can be the next Destiny. Right? Like they're not even they're not going to be competing against each other in a sense of it being a looter shooter, a first-person looter shooter with create your own character. Like they got like actual characters that everyone knows about in here, and it's like it's a looter, but I don't think they will ever. I don't think Avengers has a chance right now to compare to Destiny. I think the only thing that could really compare to Destiny, if we're going to be completely honest, would have to be the Vision, but even Division's not comparing to Destiny right now, even though Destiny's in a worse spot right now. But I digress. This could be the next Destiny, and we could see a whole new version of a games as a service, a live service game of looter shooters. It doesn't have to be Destiny. It can be a whole like pick your hero kind of a thing. But it all depends on if it does well. I don't doubt that Crystal Dynamics can make a good combat system. I am worried about can they make a lot of content, well, especially with the release schedule that they're doing. Do I think they have a chance of doing it? Well, it depends, because the biggest problem we had was content. Look, I'm all for having perfectly complete games where like we have rarely any bugs. Don't get me wrong, but I think at some point in a games as a service, you have to drop content more than you do fix bugs. Now, does that mean I don't want them fixing bugs at all when they need it to be done? Yeah, if it's drastic enough, go ahead. But if it's not that drastic, right? Like no falling through the floor, no losing your loot, you know. The occasional bug, like maybe an enemy spawns outside the room, that's not as bad as losing your loot or falling through the floor as soon as you start the game, right? Or you can't even go past an area because the part of the level didn't load up right? Like that's a lot different than that. But it's like you make sure that's fine, and then work on the minor bugs while the DLC is out right now. I guarantee you the community and the player base will be happy with them. But and let me go back a little bit. Do you really think that Crystal Dynamics will be able to make a Tomb Raider game with the way Marvel Avengers went down? Like, does anyone really believe anyone's gonna trust them with a Tomb Raider game if they fail with Marvel Avengers? Like, I don't know. Like, and you know, it's probably like that's pessimistic, but you gotta think about that, right? Like, that's a lot of like goodwill you have to gain back that you failed on a Marvel title. I don't need and it's like it's probably not too serious, but it's serious enough for gamers, and that's the thing. They have to succeed. Do I think they can? Well, they have the potential. It's not like I don't feel like they couldn't design good things. It's just a matter of not trying to be too safe and dropping more content. All right. So now let's talk about Hawkeye. So the number one thing that I thought about when Hawkeye was coming out was his combat's probably gonna be like not like Kate Bishop's, but like Black Widow's. Although he has a katana, I believe his combat like the way he does his combos is gonna be like Black Widow's. Like how she fights and all that. I think he might get a movement system like Captain America. And this is all assuming that he doesn't get time powers from, if you paid attention to Kate Bishop's story, then you know what I'm talking about. But this is all assuming, right, that he doesn't get time powers from, you know, just going through different timelines. Assuming that is true, right? Assuming that is true, then I expect he probably is going to get I don't think he'll get a grapple arrow, just because that sounds, first off, it sounds really weird, and then second off, it's like he would have to shoot the arrow and then climb up, or maybe it's not like he does it like let's even go off the movies, right? In the first Avengers movie, he shoots a grapple arrow up and it hooks to his suit, but it doesn't like zip line him up there. No, he has to pull himself. He has to walk up there himself. And it's like most likely that's probably what we're gonna see if he does anything with a grapple hook arrow. But what I think will happen, right, instead of that, is that we'll get him running around like Captain America, while he can wall run and yeah, wall run in both vertical or horizontal. And I think most likely, if what I've seen is true, that Captain America can shield run on while wall running, then we'll probably see Hawkeye being able to wall run and shoot his bow at the same time. I think all of that will happen. I think he's going to be an acrobatic. Like I said though, should he have the grapple arrow? I mean, I think he should be able to have it, but the thing is, if he doesn't have time powers, then he's really just a weaker version of Kate. But if they're gonna go off the idea that he's acrobatic and he like acrobatic and Ronin, right? So like Ronin, his other side when he doesn't have his bow. If they want to go off that idea, I really do believe they're gonna go acrobatic off that alone. Otherwise, he'll literally. I feel like he's still like literally. If they go with time powers, he'll literally just be Kate, but just in time powers instead of I feel like that's what quantum energy is. Anyway, alright, so guys, you might want to brainstorm like how you think his support his assault and his ultimate's gonna be. I mean, like the number one thing I remember with Hawkeye is that he had multiple different arrows that he could use at any time. He had multiple different tips that he needed, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool and all, but I don't believe this game can handle Hawkeye having every single weapon type he has in the comics. I feel like something like the boomerang arrow or something like the sonic arrow might just be. So a lot of his stuff might literally just be like ranged attack moves, not like, you know, him aiming and shooting, but just like combos. Like Kate Bishop has the detonation arrows whenever she presses her aim and her let's call it melee button, her light attack. It's like her aim and light attack it together. So it's like, I think like maybe we'll see something like that. But like when it comes to just like all the arrows he could do, I don't think any of that will have anything to do with his ultimate or support or his assault. Assuming that we have the ability to if we're playing regular Hawkeye and he has the Ronin style, assuming that, right, we might have how Kate Bishop has when she's in her quantum energy ultimate, she has the ability to shoot out energy like energy slashes. And we might have something like that where like if something changes, or like Widow's bite whenever Black Widow does her lightning fist instead of her this Widow's shot, right? We might see something like that, and that might have something to do with like Ronin focus or something, or Archer's focused. But like when it comes to his support, like what they could do, and I really do believe they should do it this way, make it so that his support is like it's always active. And so what it would be like is like if you're near Hawkeye, or Hawkeye's in your team and he's in his Archer form, right? He automatically has, or at least if he specs in his Archer form, right? He automatically gives you like extra precision, extra like maybe proficiency when it comes to his ranged attacks, right? Versus like proficiency when he's in his melee if he's in a Ronin state. But we're assuming, right? We're assuming that they're even going to allow you to play a more Ronin focus. Because, and I'll be honest, like when we see Kate Bishop, she either has her range build or her melee build. And to be completely honest, I feel like they made Kate Bishop more focused on her melee than her range. It's not like Tony Stark where you've got like your main, like your best option is your ranged attack. With Kate, it was literally like her best option. Yeah, she can put out some nice precision damage, sure, but it's not going to be as good as her melee or intrinsic melee attacks. Like it's not going to be close to as good as that. And that's going to be the biggest issue they're going to have to overcome with Hawkeye. Is just like, are they going to spec into the idea of him being a true archer? Will his pullback on his let's assume they call it razor arrow again, is his pullback on his drawback on his arrow for his razor arrow is going to feel smooth? Like literally from my experience, Kate Bishop's her best arrows when it comes to feel is her scatter shot. Her explosive and her single shot razor arrows feel terrible. Like they This is coming from the guys that made Tomb Raider, and I remember Tomb Raider's bows feel pretty good, but when it comes to this game, Kate Bishop's arrows feel terrible. Now maybe it's like, okay, well we're gonna spec, we want you to really kind of spec more melee-ish with Kate Bishop. Okay, fine. So then we have Hawkeye. Are they gonna make it so that you can fully spec into being an archer? Is he going to be a very evasive archer when it really feels like that's what Kate Bishop was? Like, that all has to come into frame when it comes to, like, is he going to be a sniper? Are we going to be trying to stay far away all the time, you know? So I really do wonder. I do hope, though, we can spec into Ronin. And I say that mostly because, I mean, once again, my name's 7Ninja7, and I kind of like the idea and look of Ronin. So it's like, I would love to be able to play Ronin Hawkeye. Would that be possible? Are they going to do it? I don't know. But I would kind of like to see Ronin Hawkeye. Other than that, though, is there anything else I want to talk about? I don't think so. But yeah. If you want to see more talks from me, remember to hit the subscribe button and the like button. I'm also going to be posting this on Odyssey, so if anyone's from Odyssey, remember hit the follow button and hit the notification bell on both, really. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time. I do plan on doing another podcast episode on Anchor, which travels to like every podcast app, at least mainstream podcast app. So I plan on doing one of those for like when Hawkeye comes out, and I'll probably put it in video form afterwards. But yeah, thanks for listening to me. It's not really a rant, but let's call it a rant. Thanks for listening to this rant, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.